Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it is. So I'm here. This is Steven. I'm by myself right now. Randy had an emergency he had to run off to. We are going to be playing Razor Corp versus Dawnlight, but we noticed that from the Kermis 20, I believe, that the Provocateur was a bit of a debatable play. So we're going to go over a few things. Oh, there's Randy. It looks like he got some documentation. He comes prepared. We're going to debate this.
Either the right answer or the right answer.
All right. So are you ready for all this?
Well, let's just go ahead and start it. First of all, I heard on my way in that Steven said there was some debate. The truth is there's no debate, but we're going to have one anyway to appease him.
Okay.
Steven, can you use your elemental magic and pull up the card for me? Thank you. The Provocateur, which is a provocative card apparently, has apparently had some mild distractions to what the cards was supposed to be when it was written. And to give some background, when we go through the rigorous testing exercises, we go through many iterations of cards to make sure that the balance is right and correct. The Provocateur is one of those cards that we actually knew exactly what we were doing when we went to the final rule to make sure it was not too overpowered. And so, let's look at the verbiage on the card. The card reads, can you read it to me, Josh Wilson?
Alrighty, today, Provocateur. Place face down in round effect. At any time, choose one card from the afterlife and place an ally.
Alright, stop. The first thing it says is to choose a card from the afterlife. So we're going to choose a card, and it's from the afterlife. We get the card onto the board.
Let's put a few in there.
Well, you can't see it now because we're not actually... Oh, actually, we can still flip to that, can't we? We flip to the board. So let's flip to the board. Okay.
Let's put a few matching cards in there.
Yep. So, we got a couple of these, and give me
So I'll do
six.
the 6. There we go. I'll do the
Okay.
purple 6.
So, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull up the afterlife. Okay? And you can do what? You take one card out.
Choose one card from the afterlife.
Read it again, Josh Wilson.
Alright. Place face down in round effect. At any time, choose one card from the afterlife and place an ally.
Okay, so he's going to choose one card from the afterlife and place an allies. No, you don't need it.
Yeah, I thought we put the other one in there.
You want another 6? There it is.
There it is.
Put that.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to choose this 6. He's going to place it in his allies.
Boom.
Okay, so now, go ahead.
Now, place all remaining afterlife cards of either the same value or the same colors in allies.
Okay.
Okay, so
Here's
how
he'll
it
play it.
reads. Read it slower. Place all
Remaining afterlife cards of
either the same value or the same color
in allies.
Okay, so it does not say choose either the same value or the same color and place those remaining cards in allies. It says that match either the value or the color. In this case, all of these cards match either color or value, so I would place them all into allies.
Right, and as you look at that move, it doesn't look too OP, does it? Placing all those cards directly in allies?
That's how it's worded.
That's how he words it. Now, in his words, he's assuming that either means both. And in some strange dialects of English, that might actually be the truth, because I did read, and I have massive printouts of all the definition of either. The number one definition, though, the top definition is used before the first of two given alternatives.
And I'm still using that definition. It's
No,
still two
but your given alternatives are both. You're saying both.
Because
so when,
it matches.
No, so the way it's
either.
supposed to work is you have the 6. Go return to the board, please. So you have this 6. Or I could say this 6. If I choose that 6, I can take these 3, or alternatively, I could choose all the colors. Okay, and in both cases, I'm getting a pretty good move, all to allies. But in your case, you're saying, well, I get all of them. If we were to have written the rule this way, it would have been really easy and clear, like every single other card that we've ever written. It would say, take all remaining colors and values that are the same as the first one. We'd say, and colors and values. That's how we would lead into it. That's the consistency of our cards. They're very consistent. And is in place because it's this and this. If it's this or this, it would be one or the other. In this case, we added the term either because if you read it without the either, then it clearly does have his connotation. So we added the either.
And
no, if it's,
it would be if it said color and value, then the only cards they would have to match. Where are they? They would have to match both.
That's right.
Color and value. So it would only be
that's
the
right.
purple.
So
sixes.
that is exactly why we said either and or. And
Correct.
if I continue down,
but we should say choose only one.
in good English
value.
writing style, it is important that either and or are correctly placed structures for the balance so that they mirror each other. And the way that we did it is we said, you're going to have two choices, okay? You're going to either choose the combination
But we didn't
of colors.
say choose.
No, it doesn't matter. It
It
does not
does.
matter. No,
It does
we
from
already
what
said
you just
we
said.
already said choose.
Either says that it's
you don't have
either
to
one
write. You don't
or
have
the
to write
other.
choose. You do
Yes,
not have to write
you
it.
should say choose either value or color. Place all matching cards in the afterlife from either
what did you eat for
color
lunch?
or banana cream.
Oh, that's what it is. It's bananas,
Bananas.
today. It's not quite as bad. It's not as pungent, but I think there's a combo effect
I'm
there. I
saving the
ate
tuna
pickle
fish for
chips
after.
and hoping to distract him, but then
No, I
I
like
had
pickle chips.
but I had a breath mint too.
And
So-
he didn't want to share. Instead,
So the
he-
problem that I have with Stephen's definition is we even checked our written rules in the spreadsheets that we have. We even saw that the either was not in that originally. We added the either to make it as clear as possible that in that structure you can do either this or that. Had we left it without the either, it would have been this
but
or
it
that.
doesn't say to choose.
It doesn't have to
either
say
this
choose.
or
You're
that.
adding a word that it doesn't matter if
No,
it says it.
because
It's
it says
irrelevant.
that match either.
It doesn't say, is the word match in there?
Yeah.
Of either the same value or the same color and
It
allies.
doesn't say match.
Well, yes, but it's okay. So read that last part again.
Place all remaining afterlife cards of either the same value
Or
or
the
the same
same
color.
color.
and
That's
allies.
right. So
Yeah.
in a normal English
But
speaker's language,
It would say choose either value or color.
you could write it 8 different ways to make it the way that you want it to sound. The reality is, if I was a new player to the game and I read that sentence, my answer would very clearly be, I can do this or that. I can either do this or that. The problem without the either was that it was containing the or this, but it didn't say either. So once we added the either, it gave the choice from one to the other. If we say and, you're right. If we said and, only and, it would be
have
both.
It would have to match.
So
both
our
of those.
objective was to make sure it didn't match both of those, and yet you still had to choose either this grouping of cards or
But it doesn't
that
say
grouping
to
of cards.
choose a grouping.
It doesn't matter if it says the word choose. I'm telling you in a descriptive way that fits on a card is not always going to be the case. We have to make sure that the card says what it needs to say in as short as possible, because a lot of text is very difficult. It gets more confusing. In this case, our online game is very clear because our online rule is actually doing what you're describing. But what did we do with the online? It's going to do both of these things, but it goes to loyalists and recruits the rest of the cards. So it's a recruit and loyalist.
And how's
In this
the
case,
online one worded?
it doesn't matter. The online one hasn't been proofread, so we're not gonna. It's in beta, so we're not even gonna go there. I wouldn't know what to tell you what it says. But the idea was, originally we had designed the game to do exactly as you said. So you're living in the past, and that's typically where you live. And so the past statement is, yes, we tried it that way originally. Then we added the word either, in which I believe you were probably in the meeting, and agreed to the final print.
Which clarifies that it can be color or value, not color and value, to give it more
Yeah,
options.
you're right. It can't be color and value,
Correct.
okay? It can't be all the colors and all the values.
No. It can't be. So in this case,
Now,
If
I
were to take that
understand what
5,
you're saying.
Then this is the only one that matches color
and value. That I agree with.
It would just be
But
that.
what if it said either color and value?
That wouldn't make sense.
I know it wouldn't make
can't be
sense. I just
either
want to
and.
make sure of testing you. But if you were to say color and value, you would say by matching all the colors and all the values
That
that
would
are
all be
remaining.
this one.
No, matching all the colors of the chosen card and all the values of the chosen card would be the correct way to say that. I'm going to match all the colors. So I'm going to match, here, go back to the board, please. I'm going to match all the colors, and I'm going to match all the values of this 6 that I chose. All of these and all of those. That would be correctly stated. Or, which is a choice. I have 2 choices, right? Either or. So, or I could say match the color and value, right? Which would be, say, in this case, it wouldn't match anything because there's only this. Or, no, this is my material. You didn't come prepared.
I did not know you were printing it out.
Is it
Let's
supposed to?
find either as the determinant, which I know is in there.
I got a question for you. Do you think it's a conjunction, or do you think it is a adjective, or do you think it's a verb?
In this case,
As a determiner, there
it's
were
an
no
adjective.
children of either marriage.
yes.
One or the other of 2 people or things. That's a determiner.
Either marriage.
Yes. One or the other, not both. One or the other of 2 people or things.
Yes, and in this case, it matches one or the other. You're not saying to choose one of them. You are determining that all that match either or.
All right, hold on.
That's the thing.
This card says, I just took it out of, it says, at any time choose one card. You are now choosing one card, right? That card you're going to place in LS,
Boom.
right?
Yep.
Place all remaining Afterlife cards of either the same value, which would be this,
Which would be the 6s,
or the same,
same
color.
color.
Which one do you choose?
They all
That's
qualify
that's
under
the
that.
that's the problem with your statement of either the same value or color. You just answered it yourself. Now now let's put it this way.
Either
even
value
if you said
or
put the
color.
put the card back up, please.
Card?
Just the card. I want the card first so that I can put that in position. Okay. So here's the deal, and I'm gonna take the peanut gallery here because I have to know if you guys were a new player to the game and you read that rule, how would you personally play it? And you can say our arguments have both been counter to each other. How would you play the rule in the way it is read? If you just read it for the first time. Brandon, what do you say? What do you think? I mean, honestly.
Without giving, if I didn't think about it too much, reading the either or, I would think one.
Okay.
Choose one.
Choose one or the other. Okay. Josh, what's your opinion? Just opinion, really.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a little torn on it because I see both sides of it. Now, it just depends on what type of reader you are, I think, the way you would read that. Like, I get from a structure point that, like, you might be right, but you could also be right, too. So it's
Either's a tough
decision.
word, and either is a tough word, to be fair, because there is a technical, it says the less likely way to use it, but still somewhere back in the English language, either could be like, I have a friend sitting on either side of me, okay? So it can be used rather than a decision point, it can be used to explain 2 different things that are both happening, okay?
Either you're the winner or you're the winner.
Right. But one of us is the winner, even in that case. So one of these is your decision. So the nominal user
But
that
it
is
doesn't
not an
say to
English
choose.
professor, no matter how you say it.
So, for instance, if you're the winner or I'm the winner, either Randy or Steven are the winner. So in that
But you
case,
still have
to
to-
choose a winner, you
no,
would
no,
say
no, no.
choose either
No, but you don't.
Randy
no.
or Steven.
Even
as
if
the
you don't
winner.
say the word choose, Either Steven's a winner or I'm a winner.
Correct. That just means.
So
And
stop,
right here,
whoa,
you're
whoa, whoa,
saying
stop right there.
move all winners
no,
to allies.
No, that is not what
Right?
we're saying.
So you're choosing.
You're going to choose
Either.
either Steven or Randy. Do you think when I say
you said
choose
choose.
either, no, say either Steven or Randy. That's all I'm going to say. Either Steven or Randy. Do you think you should take both of us or one of us?
And that's that.
So wait, no.
No, that's not.
We're
it.
No,
not-
he doesn't
hold
like
on.
that argument because
So-
he knows that argument sounds pretty friggin' compelling.
No. So place. Okay. So choose one card. So let's say it's a person here. Okay. From the afterlife and place an ally.
Okay, I chose
Place
a
all-
card.
Okay. So place all remaining afterlife cards of either the same value or
Either.
the same color in allies.
If it said
So you
either,
could place-
I might agree with you, but either.
Either. Okay. Either. Place. So if you and I are the either, right? Randy or
Choose
Steven.
either Randy or
choose-
Steven and place
But
an
it doesn't
allies.
say choose. It says place
No.
all remaining.
Fine. Place all remaining
Randy's
afterlife
or
cards of
Steven's.
either Randy or Steven in the allies.
Yeah.
So
So
if
all
I
remaining
say-
Randy's and
all
Stevens.
remaining Randys and Stevens in the allies is how he's putting
But
it.
that's also.
But again,
written the
why
same way.
write it this way? Why write it and then capitalize? This is a very important note. Here, can you
Because
put
he
the
wanted to
card?
provoke something.
No. Let's see this. Now you see this big capitalization on the or. This is something that we have been very, very consistent on in our cards. If there's a very large or, an OR capitalized, that is a clear delineation between one or the other. We've done that many times. Look at Cloud Echo. What's the inner void? Can someone pull up inner void and read that to me, please? And it doesn't matter if the word either is in there or not. Tell me what the clear delineation of inner void says.
Brandon, please pull that up for us.
Alright. It says kill one random opponent recruit and one random opponent loyalist, or draw 2 random community cards and place in recruit.
So in this case, do you believe that you should do both or one of those?
Read that one more time.
Kill one random opponent recruit and one random opponent loyalist, or draw 2 random community cards and place in recruits.
Should you do one or
You
both?
should do one.
Okay. So, regardless of any other word,
Well,
even the word either, we and it's capitalized or.
Yes, sir.
The capitalization of the word or is the reason that we are breaking the line and saying you cannot do both. You must do one or the other. And that's how we are consistently doing it. So the secret sauce in this might not be the word either at all, but the fact that we capitalize the word or to make a clear line between what you can do or what you can't do. And that is, you can do this one or you can do that one. If it was lowercase or, maybe I could even see your point. But regardless, do you have anything else to say? Because if you don't, I'll end this and then we'll put up a poll and we'll let the users decide.
Steven, do you have any final words for us?
I've got a lot more words, but I'll save those for another day.
Okay.
Okay, so my last statement is this.
Let's play.
Regardless of the outcome of this, we do want to put a little asterisk at the bottom because I write the rules and it's really my decision. So no matter what, I'm winning this debate. However, I'm only willing to hear Stephen out and make changes for the future if this wasn't a clear enough definition. It's been written, it's printed, it is what it is, that is the rule. So the only question is, did Stephen present a good enough argument to convince you guys that this card should be different than its intention?
And I ask you, before you vote, please talk to and consult your third grade English teachers.
There's
And,
no
thanks
friggin'
for
way,
catching the first
no
time.
friggin'
Hope
way
y'all
this is
enjoyed
a
it.
third grade problem.
Until next time.